Today I'm going to demonstrate the versatility of the Power Hand 3 by Gesswein. It's the ultimate power carving tool, and it can take care of most any job you have in carving. Today I will be carving feathers using a flame diamond bit, and it's a 3/32 shaft, and I'll be carving out these individual feathers and showing you how I will be undercutting after I shape the feathers and doing some feather detail. After I do that, I'll do a follow-up video showing you how I texture these feathers with the Gesswein. So for now, let me turn it on. Very quiet. Can't believe how quiet it is. I do my topmost feathers first, and it's good to have a little bit of shadow so you can see what you're doing. I'll be coming back and wood burning this eventually, so the really fine detail will be left to the wood burner. As I move back, these feathers get a little bit bigger. The Gesswein just makes it feel like I'm practically drawing. I'm not putting forth any effort. I have found that the speed will dictate how fast the wood's removed. You gotta be a little bit careful how fast you have this turned up to. I have this on 29 RPM for this particular job. And as you can see, I'm just shaping, laying in the shape. I'm gonna come back and do some deeper carving after I get these laid in, using my pencil lines as a guide. And I'm just able to be so precise and move so quickly down this feather track. Come back and pick up my next feathers. You don't want this to be so regimented that it looks too perfect. I like to carve in what I call evenly uneven. So everything's not perfect, but it still looks balanced. So that's my definition of evenly uneven. I also use the SMC Tornado 1000 dust collector. You can hear that going in the background. Nice quiet Gesswein in the low setting of the Tornado 1000. Really make it easy for me to talk loud enough so you can hear me on this video, or to listen to my music when I have it on. See, my feathers are getting bigger as I move back. going down maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And I want this to be loose, not really tight, and I'm using the side more than the tip of this diamond to create the hard edge of these feathers. And the hard edge probably won't show as much because I'll have come back and sanded after contouring, which will be my next step for each one of these feathers that I'm carving. It's a good idea to work evenly from side to side. Don't get too far on one side. Just in case you have to stop, your mood can change dramatically. You step away from your carving and take a break, or even pick it up the next day. At least I can see subtle differences in my own carving. Sometimes that doesn't work very well if I'm trying to match up the mood I was in the day before, and things are a little bit different, so. It's important to be aware of which feather's on top of which feather. It can get confusing, and you might lose some of that design that you wanted if you're not keeping track. Carving the topmost feather first. And these feathers here are starting to get much bigger going on into the head, back of the head. I'll be contouring these quite a lot, so it's okay for me to carve them a little bit deeper. This might look kind of messy, and that's really okay. Again, I'm just kind of outlining my feather patterns right now. Okay. Once I get an area laid in like this, I can come back now and at the base of the feathers to give it some depth. I go in and I just carve into that base of that feather, right into the point. And again, you don't want to just do this totally perfect. It won't look right if you do. And just remember that the feathers in front are on top, those as they go back. And if you're going to contour the shape of the feather, you can go in just a little bit deeper than you would have if you weren't going to. Again, you might have to go in a little bit deeper if you're going to do some undercutting. And some of these areas I'll be doing that, so. Once you get the contouring done on the feathers, see some pretty good definition there. You want to come in and actually contour these feathers. I will come back and do some sanding. Some people don't even sand, they just go straight to their texturing stone and let the abrasiveness of that stone take care of it. I find it doesn't take care of enough for me. Feel comfortable, so I do a little bit of sanding to clean up little lines that are not indicative of a feather. It just makes things look softer. And I can go in here. I want to raise some of these feathers on the top of the crust. So I'm going to go in a little bit deeper. It's pretty drastic, but can't contour a feather if it's flat. So you've got to give yourself some wood to be able to do that contouring. Okay. So I've got that contour for that extra wood, I can come back and round it. Generally you're rounding towards the quill. Quill's for the most part the stiffest part of the feather. And depending upon where it's located on the body, it can be very thin or it can be very big and thick and obvious. Sometimes you can't even see the quill on the exposed part of the feather because it's so far up into the base. It's also important to have a little bit of shadow being cast by your lighting source. I use incandescent lights so that I can have that shadow. It shows me what I've done. Sometimes if you don't have that shadow, you can't tell, and you'll end up carving away wood in the same place over and over again without realizing you've removed any, only to find you've removed way too much. So again, I'm going in kind of deep at the base of these feathers. Give me some room to contour. And going considerably deeper as you go back. These feathers are getting bigger and lighter. Not as close to the head. Feel that the birds have the ability to raise their crest feathers in different situations, excitement, or in defense of territory. It scares other birds away to make them look bigger. Coming back and doing some more of that contouring and cleaning up where I was digging in. I don't want to undercut these yet until I get the rest of the head carved. This is a pretty good start on how I use the Power Hand 3 to shape and contour feathers. Next time you see this, the rest of the feathers will be carved on the head, and I'll have sanded them, and they'll be ready for texture to be stoned into them. So for now, this is the Power Hand 3 by Gesswein, and I'll tell you, I'm loving it. Have a great day.